just a bunch of random chaotic shit that they didn't want to see. But once you have the hashtags and the people that you're following all set up, it's a pleasant experience.
Oh, really? How long have you been on Mastodon
Beginning of the year, maybe? I don't know when I actually started using it, like, consistently.
for? Makes sense. Well, we are live, and I only heard half of that. Sorry, but I had to keep the conversation going. And welcome to Pixel Pints. We are the only global gaming podcast that covers two great things, which is good beer and what's that, Burkoff? What's the other thing?
Video games.
There we go. That's what a dynamic duo does, right? We are a dynamic duo here,
Sure.
coming from the best coast, the West Coast. I just made that up, but I'll take it. I'm your host, Mitch, and I'm joined by Burkoff, all the way from Viva Las Vegas. How's it going? Las Vegas.
It's not too bad, man. Just another day in paradise. It's finally starting to cool down a little bit, but it was still like 90 degrees today.
I was gonna say it was not cold in LA at all today. It was hot. And I'm like, God, October reminds me of. I was saying this to my coworkers, and I was just saying, like, like in the Midwest, October is a crapshoot month. You get
Right.
snow one day, you get high 70s another day. In LA, it's one day it's 80s and sunny, the next day it's 70 and sunny.
Right.
that's
Yeah. It's not a
in
huge
correlation.
difference.
Yeah, the correlation is not a huge difference.
Yeah, I can remember when we lived in New York. Usually, like by Halloween, it was snowing and the snow was beginning to stick.
Yeah,
So I imagine that's how it is in Wisconsin and Minnesota too.
it depends. It's like, yeah, you basically November is when that's gonna get sticky.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
well, anyway, we are Pixel Pints. You can follow us on Twitter at Pixel_Pints or on Instagram at Pixel Pints Pod to find out when we go live each and every weekend, because that's when we stream here at twitch.tv/Pixel Pints. I just noticed I covered the chat. I need to pull the chat over here to be my friend. Because
We don't pay attention to the people in chat. Come on now.
what are you talking about? We respect the people in chat.
Every once in a while, yeah, we'll pay attention.
Every once in a while. But yes, we cover we stream live on twitch.tv/Pixel Pints every single weekend, and then we archive our episodes on YouTube. Just look up Pixel Pints, or go to any podcasting service or around the globe that you listen to and just look for Pixel Pints. You'll find us there. We have had a weird string of episodes, and that is just because I was going through my torture stream. It is now over. So if you were not watching the torture stream, it's okay. We're back to the normal show. Just start listening again. So we're back. I promise. We're not going back to that horror and torture again.
So I don't feel like your opinion changed much beyond hour 10. Would you say that that's true? Like the first 10 hours, you already made up your mind, and that was it.
Yeah. I mean, it's changed.
Or-
It changed slightly, but the bad was just bad. Like the bad didn't change. There were some things
Right.
that surprised me, and like I was like, oh, that was kind of fun. That was kind of cool. But for the most part, it stayed where it was. It's like
Okay.
for me, it's like a 6, high 6, low 7 in my brain. It's just.
Sure.
But to be honest, I can't believe I found a loophole where if you get your bounty so high, there's just no way to get rid of it. Like, that's ridiculous. I even said in the stream on like my last day, I was like, I wish I could go to like the Federation, and I tried to be a recruit. They try to recruit you to join the
Right.
Federation group. And I was
Yeah.
like, I wonder if I do that, they'll forgive my bounty. And being like, hey, you do an act of service, we forgive your bounty. I feel
No,
like
I just kept it.
I had to pay my bounty off before I could join. They're like, pay your
All
due.
right.
I was like, what the hell? But like in my mind, I think of it as, that's a good loophole to like get rid of someone's bounty. If you rank up a bounty high enough
Right.
and you feel like you can't get rid of it, do an act of service for that group and then have your bounty be forgiven. Because to be honest, there's no other way. Like I think I spent my last 7 hours trying to recur as much money as possible, and I still wasn't close. I think I was like 40 grand off.
Okay. All right. So one of the random events, if you do something bad in the game, is you get approached by a captain who then takes you up on his ship, and he's like, "All right, you have a choice. Either you work for me, or you rot, or whatever." Basically, so but it is a way to get out of it. So you can accept his mission, and then you go undercover with the Crimson Fleet, and so you join the Crimson Fleet, and then it's this whole other story.
Yeah, I'd never
But I
had
don't
that
know,
option.
like, I don't know if that's just because you
My bounty
ignored
was
it the
so
first
high.
time you got caught. Yeah, or you did something that, I don't know, caused it to not show up.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's just it was slightly disappointing in that aspect. But for the most part, it's exactly what I thought it was. If you like Bethesda games, you'll like this game. If you don't like Bethesda games, you're not gonna like this game. There's no other way around it. Bethesda gonna Bethesda. I don't know what else to tell you. The movie, the thing of the thing. So, but anyway, yeah, there's torture streams over. We're back to a regular show, and it's going to be a normal show, no streaming. We might stream again for fun to do other things, but we have better things to talk about, like good beer. We both have beer.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a
you
good
got beer
day.
today.
I
Yeah.
do have beer today. It's a night show. It's not a 8 a.m. wake up, not 8 a.m. A 6 a.m. wake up and show up and you got a podcast. It is 10:30 at night. That means it's a good time for a beer. Plus, it's Indigenous Day on Monday,
People's Day Monday. Yeah.
and I am not working, so therefore, bada bing, bada boom, I can drink.
Lucky. I've never had what used to be known as Columbus Day off.
Well,
So and I don't have it off this year either.
wait, you had it off?
Which is
You had it off for school. Come on now. Come on now.
for school.
Yeah, don't
All right, but not for.
don't be a
Not
liar.
since I've been working.
Don't be a liar around
Not
here,
since I've been
Berghoff.
working.
Okay. And it's nice that you changed
feel
your
like-
tune after I brought that up.
No, but I think there was times where we didn't have that day off at school.
I think there were times, but who knows? So what I brought is, well, I have one more left of this, and I've already had this on the show. It's the Rad Dad. Oh jeez.
You didn't see my the on there. I added you. Mikey said he could jump on and do the quick version.
Oh jeez. I don't have his videos ready to go though. Oh jeez.
Oh Jesus! I didn't think about that.
Sent you all of them.
I know. I wasn't ready yet. But you can list them off really quick if you'd like to.
Sure. Have you already begun?
We're on beer
we
talk.
began the show. Yeah.
We're on beer talk. But what I can say is, the show today is going to be our personal best favorite trailers of all time. And Mikey has a very late hour right now. It is 10, 11, 12, 1:37.
Yeah, it's 1:37 in the morning.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. Just give us your 10.
Sure. The actual impetus for this suggestion of topic was I was going back through and something someone said started me humming a song, and I'm like, what the heck is this song? And I realized, oh my gosh, it's the Bartholomew song that they used for the Prepare to Die trailer when they were releasing Dark Souls 1 on PC. And I went back and rewatched that trailer, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember watching this trailer over and over and over again. And that one personally stuck out in my mind as one of the best pairings of not necessarily like, orchestral epic high fantasy music with a high fantasy game. But if you listen to all the lyrics, it it's almost like they wrote the song for Dark Souls. Like it's an amazing trailer, and like yes, you can argue there are many other better, maybe clean trailers, but the pairing of the content and the lyrics of the song and the song itself just stuck out to me as one of my absolute favorites for that. Um, and so that is probably near my number one, definitely like top five. But looking back at the list real quick that I sent over here, I was trying to think of trailers that stuck in my mind throughout the years without having to go back and look at like a top 10 of all time or a top 100 of all time. And I had to go back to the first trailer that I remember getting. My friend went to college, downloaded the trailer, and then burnt me a copy of the trailer on a micro blue CDR at the time, because all I had was dial-up. And so he included the original Twilight Princess reveal trailer before they even had the name, and then the Advent Children trailer. So I had those two trailers on a single blue CD-ROM that I'd pop in my computer like maybe once a week to rewatch those. And
nice.
I just thought they were amazing. Like, and so like I wasn't part of the time period or the crew of people who got trailers like either on VHS or on CD or DVD from magazines, but this is the closest I had. So that one I thought was a very good trailer, at least. Well, it was hype as all get out for me because I liked Wind Waker, or liked watching my cousin play Wind Waker, but seeing Twilight Princess was like, oh my gosh, like they're going dark, like they're going back to like what I think of, not and I think a lot of people thought that as well.
I'm curious, Mikey. So I brought this up to Mitch before we started streaming. I feel like trailers are a relatively new thing. Like I don't remember seeing trailers prior to the PS2 GameCube era. Or do you feel like it was the same for you?
Yeah, except
for like TV commercials, which I wouldn't really call them trailers.
Yeah, I would say I definitely saw TV spots for say some stuff for Super Nintendo, and some stuff for Sega Genesis. But as far as a longer than 15 to 20 second advertisement, no. Like I don't remember seeing anything like that up until about like the GameCube PS2 era. There might have been beforehand, and like obviously there was E3-esque stuff beforehand, and people remember like sending off to get trailers on VHS, like Michael Huber talked about that for some stuff, but that was either before my time or before I was deep enough into video games to be able to look for that stuff.
Yeah, same with me. All right, cool. I was just curious if you had a similar experience.
Well, I was gonna say, if those count, I would be putting the Crash Bandicoot yelling at Nintendo as one of the best trailers of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, like that is a great one. Was that all bravado? Was there any actual game in there?
I think they had a slight 10 seconds or 5 seconds at the very end, but it was all the Crash Bandicoot mascot basically yelling at Nintendo for the vast majority of it.
There was gameplay, but it was short clips.
It's like Crash Bandicoot, done. You're like, okay.
Yeah. It's a platforming game. That's all you need to know.
In no particular order, the other couple of trailers that stuck out to me without really having to look them up. The very first Assassin's Creed trailer from E3 2006.
I thought about putting that on.
I'll tell you, Mike, that's on my list. So we're definitely gonna get to whip around to it. It was on my list.
Yep. No, no. All right, yeah, you'll have plenty to say about that one. Like that one is mentioned in the same breath as the Call of Duty Modern Warfare trailer, especially like the ghillie suit trailer
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and the one with the nuke going off. Um, Definitely around that same time period. But I'll say
Yeah.
this one, the Assassin's Creed 2006 trailer, that one got me trying to make like a falcon hood, trying to like see like how could, without removing a finger, how could I make a hidden blade? Like that started it all. Um,
Nice. Okay.
a lot of this, like this interest in trying to, if not cosplay, but like as the character, but like make stuff like that character, because I thought it was one of the coolest characters that I'd ever seen for a video game that wasn't like, you know, a normal established mascot.
Right.
And
Right.
the only disappointment I personally had in the game was that uh, all I had was a PC, and not a very good PC at that. And especially back then, Ubisoft was terrible at making PC ports. um, so I'm glad I downloaded it off the internet somewhere. Like because like it was at lowest settings, I was running at like 10 frames a second, like in the Animus or whatever. So I'm like, I can't even play. So I've actually never beaten an Assassin's Creed game, but I have played like 60 hours of Odyssey, and I've
Okay.
followed the games. But I loved that trailer. Um, yeah, my list real quick. Oh, um, I don't know if I played the game very much or whatever, but the StarCraft 2 um cinematic trailer.
Okay.
Um
I think I remember that.
like
That was a
Mitch,
BlizzCon
it's
thing, wasn't it?
might have been, it was the it wasn't the big long one where they're like bolting a guy together. It was like the next one where it was like Jim Raynor presents a clear and present threat to this dominion. Like, and
Okay.
so it's like jumping back and forth through a whole bunch of verbalized beats of the story. Like, Kerrigan, what's she after? She's come to finish the job. Like, and it's, oh, it may or may not have had Heart of Courage playing in the background.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. It's funny. Like, I looked it up when I was researching this, and I'm like, I'm not crazy. There were about six major game trailers that used Heart of Courage as
That's
the
funny.
backdrop. Specifically, one of them being Mass Effect 2. I was like, oh yeah, I
Okay.
remember that. Like, Mass Effect 2 had a Heart of Courage trailer, but uh, the as far as ones you guys might know, oh, uh, one of the original ones that like I was able to download was the very first Portal teaser with like, at Aperture Science, the impossible is easy. Like, and like it was kind of like walking you through some of the mechanics, and then like that first trailer sticks out in my mind as just setting up your wonder and your questioning, because you're like, wait, is this a puzzle game? Is this a Half-Life game?
Literally.
What is this?
Yeah, an
What,
adventure
what,
game
what,
or what is it? Yeah.
yeah, like, but also, who is this voice like teaching you? Like, it seems, is it sinister? I don't know, but that original trailer was very good, uh, and just because I absolutely love the music and mu- the game the music is referencing, the Super Smash Brothers King K. Rool reveal trailer, especially with like the trolling of Diddy and Donkey Kong with was it Duck Hunt Dog, like pretending to be King K. Rool, and then King K. Rool comes out and smashes him in like in the face, and then the fight begins, and then they drop that insanely sick remix of the King K. Rool boss theme for the music for that trailer. Like,
Okay.
go look up that music, and it is one of the hardest that Nintendo has ever gone on music, and they didn't have to go that hard, but they did, and
Nice.
we're all better for it. Um, that one, and Oh, and the last two were for indie games that really I can understand if no one cares for these at all. But a game from like 2008, PC game Aquaria, like before you even had Kickstarter, there was people who just launched a website and said, "Hey, you can donate to the website while I'm working on this game." I was like, "Ah, this looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'll donate $20." And then I got the game, and I really enjoyed the game, and the music was great. It was called Aquaria, like Aquaria. And on that same vein, the original reveal trailer for Hyper Light Drifter, especially because
Yeah, that
That's
was a
true.
good one.
That's a good one.
the the one that it's music by a Disaster Piece.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like that one, like that particular trailer, I would sometimes, because Disaster Piece never released that song specifically, like, so I couldn't on Spotify or SoundCloud or something like that find that song. So I would just have that trailer playing on loop on YouTube, like while I was working, and just like let that I think the one day I listened to it just on loop, I think 32 times, just because I was in a
Wow.
zone, and it didn't have any annoying like different sounds or things that didn't sound like it was part of the song. So I just
Mhm.
let it keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And so those are like, there are plenty of other amazing trailers. And I actually last night, after I'd written my list, found the old game trailers, top 100 trailers of all time, and I like watched this whole like hour and 40-minute thing, but like skipping ahead, just like number 8 or like 82, 83, 84, like just skipping through them, just to see which ones. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I like that. That was a good
Hmm.
one. Or up, never saw that one. Or yeah, that one doesn't resonate with me. But there are plenty of objectively better trailers than these. But these are the trailers that I made that list. Like all those trailers that I sent you, Mitch, I didn't have to look up. I'm like, oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, that one. Like
Hmm.
those were just ones that lived in my memory as, yeah, these were great trailers, either because the age I was, or because just where I was in video, enjoying video games. I mean, there are tons of great ones. Like, I mean, the hype of the moment of the Final Fantasy VII reveal, like, or remake reveal, like that was an amazing trailer. Like even the Beyond Good and Evil trailers, stuff like that. Like they're fantastic trailers, but um, those don't live rent free in my brain, as it were, as a lot of these other trailers do.
Right. Okay.
Um, and of course the honorable mentions were the um, the Meet the series from Valve for Team Fortress 2, especially Meet the Sniper and Meet the Spy, because I realized I say, my petit chauffeur, like my little cauliflower. I say that to my wife probably once a week, and that's from the end of that Meet the Spy trailer.
Hmm.
That's funny.
Wonder, did
Oh,
she ever ask where you
Heather,
got it from? You're like, I got it from a video game trailer.
oh yeah, 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 she knows or whatever. Like,
Oh, okay.
I'd be like, my kitty chauffeur, my petit chauffeur, like, and so it's just one of those things that just, because of that piece of media, it's stuck in my brain and it's never left,
Yeah.
never left.
I love that those trailers, from what I understand, were made from within the engine, right? Can't
Yeah,
you access
Yeah,
the?
yeah, they're in engine.
with Source Filmmaker, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Source Filmmaker.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, those are. I was gonna say Team Fortress is kind of like a dark horse trailer that most people don't think about. They were really good,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're
just
and obviously their look, aesthetically, the art direction was very different from all other games, so it also stood out in that issue as well.
yeah, like yeah, it stood, and it was a brilliant marketing campaign in a way, because it kind of gave a continually gave a boost to a game that at the time, a lot of those Meet the Teams trailers came out before it went like fully free to play, and like Hat
Right,
Fortress and
right.
stuff like that. So even though there was nothing wrong with the population of those playing it, they just kept releasing these. Like you don't really have an incentive to do so, but someone there really wants to do so,
It kind of made
and it
sense
kept a
though.
lot of interest. Yeah,
What?
oh, it kept tons of interest in that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. I think it also came at the time where there was like that was kind of the thing though, like playing in game and having comedy built in. So like there was Red versus Blue, which isn't
Hmm.
like a sponsored thing from
Right.
Microsoft. It was a separate company. I even remember
Yep.
X Play did like Special Agent Bob and Secret Agent Steve from Splinter Cell, and did it as like the co-op, but did it as a comedy. Like that was
Yeah.
kind of a thing at the time, so they kind of ran with it and go, "What if we did it in house?"
Hmm.
And they did a good job with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
All right. Cool.
got got to get to that beer talk really quick because Burkoff got beers.
I don't have
Sorry.
anything
Sorry
special
to interrupt
really.
your talk.
No, you're on. No, you're welcome
Yeah.
anytime. Um,
Yeah. Just standard PBR, and I've got it in my um, Smokey the Bear koozie.
only you can
So
prevent wildfires.
yeah, it used to be forest fires, but I have since learned that they've updated the term to wildfire.
Yeah, I mean, God, wildfire would have been, God, since the '90s.
Forest fire. Yeah, forest fire. Yeah, only you can
Yeah.
prevent forest fires.
Well,
Yeah.
Was in the 90s.
they need Smokey the Bear, but now they also need like I don't know, like uh Smolder the Prairie Dog or something like that.
Interesting.
His anti-brush fire compatriot.
Oh Jesus. I would go with a bird. I go like a pigeon or something, or an eagle.
So
No.
yeah,
Be
and some of
American. Be American. Be an eagle. Yeah, go American.
in some of the TV spots, I feel like there are other animals around him.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah.
So I got the Rad
But
Dad,
anyway,
which we've had before, and then I did bring this. I'll try it after I have my beer, which is there's a company called Mela, which is basically like a
okay.
watermelon water company. I've never had watermelon water before. So
All right.
Hmm.
why not? I have regular water too in case I don't like it, but let's go. Let's go
Yeah.
crazy.
On that
I did try the watermelon pineapple water and that was disgusting. So we'll see if just watermelon water is good.
Uh,
on that note, I tried the Liquid Death.
oh
Have you guys
jeez.
seen that?
Which one?
Yeah, yeah. The mountain water or whatever it is.
I like berry alive or something like that.
I like my brother-in-law had just the water, like the
Oh, okay.
uncarbonated white can of just water. I tried it. I'm like, this is actually tasty water. But when I was at the store, I was like, okay, it's actually good tasting water. But when I was at the store, I was like, I cannot bring myself to actually exchange currency for
Yeah.
uncarbonated canned water.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait,
So I
but
tried the
I was gonna say try a
so I
flavored
tried the
one.
sparkling version.
Yeah. I was gonna
So I
say.
tried the sparkling one, and the sparkling one is good as well. I'm like, okay, all right, Tony Hawk, all right, like your product is fine. Like I have no quarrel with your product. I won't buy it all the time, but when I
Right.
do, I'll be satisfied with your product.
Well, you have to recognize them first because that's half the battle in the life of Tony Hawk. Um,
Yep.
I didn't know that that was it's a Tony Hawk company.
I didn't know that either.
Uh,
Yeah, I think Tony Hawk is either invested in it or he actually was part of the impetus of the idea because it's
all right.
it's relatively new. Like I
Yeah.
don't remember seeing Liquid
Less.
Death more than a year or two ago.
I feel like it's maybe the last 3 or 4 years. Um, yeah, relatively recent.
Yeah.
Well, what surprised me was like I saw it at CVS's, at like
Yeah, they've
Kroger's,
definitely
like
yeah
at
they've got
grocery,
it into yeah.
like wasn't some niche thing that like I saw one place. It was like no, it was I saw it at almost every grocery store or convenience store or pharmacy. I'm like what? CVS Pharmacy is carrying liquid death. Like, what the heck? So I'm like, fine, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try.
Right.
It's not bad.
I just
Did not disappoint.
I sipped all the foam. Oh god, that got all that carbonation right in my. All right.
Mitch's glass giving head.
All right. Let's get.
And only head.
All right. Let's get to these dwellers. Yes, I called them dwellers. All right. Bada bing, bada whoo. Okay, Burkoff. Who? I mean, who wants to go first off us two?
Yeah, I can start. So, the very first trailer, these are in really no particular order other than just the way in which I remembered them as I was thinking about trailers that impacted me in some way or another. So the first one is the Gears of War Mad World trailer.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I just remember because I like Donnie Darko. I like the that version of the song Mad World. And I don't know, it's just kind of like an interesting take that they would juxtapose the meathead Marine with like this very somber song, and so yeah, I thought it was a cool way to do it. And I know Cliffy B's got some stories about how they went with it and whatever.
I almost put on my list the Mad World Bad Company 2 trailer.
Oh, all right.
Where, do you remember that one?
Kinda, yeah. It was. I want to say it was like only like a year or two before that, right, or after that.
No, it was after. It was after that.
Okay.
Because they had like a normal trailer for Bad Company 2 or whatever. But one of the characters was singing that song, and the other one turns around like, "What the hell are you singing? Like the dreams of which I've died are the best I ever had. What the hell kind of a dream is that?" Blah blah. Like so it was acknowledging, if not making fun of the juxtaposition of that song with the Gears of War
Right.
trailer, because
Yeah.
but I remembered both the Gears of War trailer and the one that was not making fun of it, but making fun of that combination
The use
of like,
of the song.
yeah.
Also, I think what was so memorable about that one too is that comes off the precipice of Gears of War 2 gaining the accolades it did, like really going into a much more personal story. So then them coming out with a trailer like this with the type of music that it had, it kind of built off the raw emotion that you were already getting from the second game going into the third game. So I dig this one a lot.
It was also a good trailer, even if you weren't using that song, like the kind of muted or no sound of like the very dark. Like I remember the scene of, I don't know, the Carrion Queen or whatever, and the gun flashes and stuff lighting up the face of like the big monster or whatever like that is, and just all that stuff happening. Like it was a well shot trailer and had a really good song, like giving you a different take on it. Kind of maybe that type of pairing was an inspiration for the Dead Island trailer to a point.
Possibly, yeah. I saw that one on a lot of best of lists. A lot of people put Dead Island on there.
I did not put mine there.
Well, like when I was talking to the Swanland, I was talking to, he was the impetus for this but the Dead Island 2 trailer, I would say objectively is a good trailer, but it is nowhere near my personal top 10 because all I did is ever see the trailer, never played the game, never really had an interest in playing the game.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, you did a cool reverse thing or whatever, and in a way you could have used that trailer for a Walking Dead. Like you could have used, like, insert any of that same type of thing you could have had, that like it didn't have to be for Dead Island, because obviously Dead Island had no tone like that whatsoever.
Right.
It was a really good trailer, but really had nothing to do with the game, versus your Gears of War Mad World trailer, which you could argue some of those themes and tones are present in God of War, Gears of War 2.
The other GOW
Gow.
game.
The other Gow.
Well, let's
Yeah.
actually talk about the other GOW because the God of War 3 trailer makes my list
Yeah.
as one of the best trailers ever made. I bring
That
the
was awesome.
I br-
Transition was not planned at all.
I know I bring this to the list for like I bring it for multiple reasons. One, it shows a sense of scale and scope that we just haven't seen in a game before, where he's doing this awesome fighting in a place that you think is just on a mountain, and then the pullback at the end to see that he's on a Titan. And I think the even cooler thing about that whole sequence is that it was an actual representation of what you get to experience. And it actually translated into what you were actually be experiencing as gameplay.
I was gonna say, I remember when this trailer hit, thinking there's no fucking way they're gonna pull that off. There's no way you're actually gonna do that in the game. So I was very surprised when the game actually did come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even all the combat is legit too.
The only two problems I had with that trailer, one was that this was during my phase of the two game series I don't touch whatsoever are God of War and Grand Theft Auto. Those are the two those were the two for two reasons. One, I didn't have a PlayStation 2 or 3 at the time, and two, those were the two games that, from what I had seen, if my parents came in and saw me playing those games, I'd have way too many questions or it'd be instantly banned anyway. So I just didn't even bother with that whole series. But my only real problem I had with the God of War 3 trailer is that is the best part of the game.
Okay.
I would
God of War 3 I've watched the, like, I personally have not played any of the original God of Wars, but the one guy that I'm sub to, I've been sub to for 9 years on Twitch. Like, I've just known him for a long time. Every other year, every 3 years, he does a full God of War marathon, like, of every game. And so I've seen all of those games, and I'm like, and it's a good game. Like, God of War 3 is a great game. I just feel that kind of like they did such a good job at the opening that there's an argument that the game goes downhill from there.
I feel
But
like
that's only a personal opinion.
I can understand why you would feel that. I would just say in some aspects yes, because you don't get as much Titan action as you think you would get. However, I think the other elements in the game really outshine in this moment of, like, the Hercules fight is something that stands in my mind.
Oh yeah,
Constantly.
Yep. Yeah.
That is an
Real quick,
amazing kick-ass fight.
Do you fight Kronos in 2 or 3?
3.
I don't remember. Is it 3?
Yeah, but I think you fight Kronos in 1 as well.
Because there was another. What I was going to say is at least of scale. Like, the scale of what's happening at the very beginning is unmatched, except in maybe the other Kronos fight. And now that you say that, like, it's not as blurry of an image that's coming back in my head, so it's probably still 3. So
yeah, he fights Kronos in 3, but I also believe he fights him in 1 as well for a very short period of time.
He doesn't kill him in 1.
No,
because he's in 3.
No, he needs to evade Kronos to get to the Pandora's box, I believe, in the first game. But yeah, no, that's this one that one was on my list. It's just
that would be on my, that trailer would be on my objective top 10 best trailers. Would be that God of War 3 trailer.
All right, Burkoff, what's next on your list?
Second one is the Elden Ring 2019 debut trailer. And the reason
is that the one at the
this,
arm, or is that the one where you finally see gameplay?
I think it's the one that's no gameplay.
The arm, I think you're referring to as Sekiro.
No, sorry, not the arm, but like the fitting of the arm onto the body. I believe in that trailer.
I'm playing it right
You get
now, so we'll find out.
Yeah, we got a plan. The only reason the only reason I wanted to pick this one though is because we didn't know what the game was going to be like at all. It was
Oh,
just
okay. Yes, it is the arm fitting on the body.
okay. But yeah, the fact that George R. R. Martin's name pops up, I was like, what in the hell is going on here? I was so excited to kind of see what it was going to be and how it was how his expertise and what he contributed to the lore, what that was going to be like. I still haven't played it. I know eventually I want to, but Souls games are just not my jam. I just do really bad at them.
Also, it was a little over exaggerated of how much George had actual impact on the title.
Yeah,
he just helped set up the basics of the lore, but it really doesn't feel as if he really made that much of an impact.
Yeah.
Still very much a Souls game for sure.
I mean, I know people are higher on this title than I am. I really don't think it's the next becoming of video games. Really didn't think it's game of the year like winner type to me personally. I think the game has a lot of problems, but that's just because it's but
I mean, but
it's
somehow
still a solid
something
game.
and maybe it was George's name associated with the project cracked it into a game that is still in the top 20 best-selling games of the month, if not top 10 occasionally. Like, it did something.
You still see it do high concurrent player numbers too. It's like I'm on Steam,
which is
you
good.
Check out the stats, and like it's in the top 100 a lot.
Oh no, that's totally fair. I think you're right. George R. R. Martin was the reason it propelled beyond what a Souls game was.
Yeah,
at least in reach, if not actual product.
Right.
No, also good trailer. It's a good trailer.
My next one, I'm going with Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Oh yeah, that was a good one.
This is the one where he pulls down a Death Star from the sky.
You mean a Star Destroyer?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, not a Death Star. Yeah, a Star Destroyer. Yes, not a Death Star. He pulls a Star Destroyer straight out of the sky.
Yes.
I think
that's a great one.
I think it easily creates the tone of what this game was, which was the Force on steroids, and you're like playing with the Force in so many different ways. I really think it just nailed the feel of the game, which is exactly what I wanted out of the game. And I really think this game, even though I know it got a sequel and like the sequel isn't as well regarded, I really think this game is underrated. It's like probably one of the most underrated Star Wars games ever made.
And especially in that trailer, like you watch that very slow, like that slow building tension of the Star Destroyer being pulled out of the sky, coming towards the hooded figure, like sliding along the ground and stopping. You knew it was going to stop in time, but it still took its good old time, stopping in time, and then a red lightsaber is clicked on, and you're like, what is going on? Because you're like, you didn't know, like you're like, what the heck is going on? Because someone hates the Empire, like, oh, it must be some other Jedi. Red lightsaber? Jedis don't use red lightsabers. What? All the questions.
Well, it's that, and then after they do that with the Star Destroyer, it shows pure gameplay of just showing how much you're unleashing the Force in the title itself. And I think it just like shows a true marriage between, a CG trailer that might be more deceiving than it really is, and then the actual gameplay that you're getting. And I think, again, equal representation. I think it really worked there for the most part.
He was a Darth Vader clone, correct?
No, he was just
an apprentice.
He was just a youngling that was whose parents were killed on Kashyyyk by Lord Vader and then taken in as an apprentice. In the sequel, he has a clone, which is himself.
Gotcha.
So
I was gonna say, I remember hearing about the story for it, and I was like, I don't know, like how is this gonna fit into canon and all that kind of stuff. But
objectively, good trailer. Objectively, high my top 15, 20 trailer.
And it is
for me.
considered
Well,
canon in the Star Wars universe.
The game's hella fun. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's one of my. It's a game I always want to go back to and play every now and then, just because like the force powers were so fun. I just remember like grabbing someone with the force, lifting them up, and the soldiers would be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what are you doing?" Like it's like so natural of like what someone would do if someone had force powers and like messing with
Yeah.
them.
Remember that game actually reviewing well on the Wii? Am I crazy in my remembrance?
It did not review
No.
well on past consoles because it came out for the Wii, PS2, and it didn't review very well.
No, PS3. It was PS3.
No, it also came out for PS2. So the
Really?
Wii version and the PS2 version were completely different games than the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions.
Interesting.
They were.
Okay.
This,
I didn't. I only played the PS3
so
360
so
version.
when I think it was like it was an episode of Game Face I was on with Shane and Matt, and I was talking to Matt about, you know, when we were talking about, I think it was like before all the consoles got announced. I mean, before all the consoles like final specs were announced, and we were talking about, you know, how much, you know, game specs matters in regards to the aspect of Xbox supporting past consoles for the next 3 years, and PlayStation just only supporting PS5. And I was like saying, oh, well, if you have to support all that, you can't do different things with design or iteration in because you have to due to this lower power. And I meant to use that game as an example because they're two completely different games. They are the same story.
Interesting.
They
Yeah.
have similar mechanics, but not the same because the physics didn't work.
Yeah.
Didn't work
in
right
Like
on
PS2.
PS2, yeah.
that is an example of a generational change where it wasn't just a slider of
Exactly.
clarity.
Yeah.
Where there actually was horsepower required to do the basic mechanics of the game that was not possible on the lower powered hardware.
Yeah, agreed. So, so yeah, that's just, yeah. Unfortunately, it did not review well for the old consoles, but I do remember it reviewed pretty well for the other consoles. So yeah, it was a trailer I always remembered in my brain of just the Death Star game pulled out of the
The
sky.
Wii, because the Wii, I remember the Wii version had like hand controls, like motion controls or whatever,
to swing the
for doing
lightsaber.
some of the things, and some people like thought they were like it was cool, like like you could do force lightning with a nunchuck or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Burkoff, what's your next one?
Beyond Good and Evil 2 announcement trailer.
You might need to clarify which
Objectively good trailer.
announcement trailer that is, because there's two of them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so
That-
it was really originally announced in what,
Is
2008
it the
or
fucking
9?
chocolate mate? Is the fucking chocolate mate trailer?
No, this is the Tower one. So it's
Okay.
the more recent
2017.
announcement trailer. Yeah, 2017.
Okay.
And yeah, the reason I chose this one is I think it looks like a hell of an interesting world. I never played the original. I know the original's got a lot of cult fans, but yeah, I just think it's really interesting, and I want to see this game come out, though I don't think it's ever going to happen at this point.
I mean, never say never. Ubisoft is still releasing Skull and Bones, so anything can come out.
That is true. Yes. Yeah.
So I mean,
It's because
like,
someone's being held hostage in Czechoslovakia or something. Like,
Yeah. But yeah, no, this trailer's just kind of like it's a little bit like Jim Henson, Farscape, like that style of sci-fi, mixed with the Star Wars, with the way that characters are. They're not confined like in Star Trek where everybody's a humanoid for the most part.
yeah. The only thing that got me with this trailer that like, yeah, it's a good trailer. But I just feel like I don't know how they're gonna make all these mechanics work in the game. Like if you watch the trailer, it's like them riding on a motorbike, then him shooting his mechanical arm in the air. There's gunplay. He has a jetpack. It's just like I was like, how do I play this though? How's this gonna play?
dude, at this point, just hire the the CGI studio to make this a movie and be done with it.
I take that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I would take that more. I would take that more because I'm interested in that world, but I don't know if
Right.
I'm 20, 30, 40, 70 hour interested in that world. I have no idea how long of a game that'd be.
Well, it is Ubisoft, and it's a newer. It will be a newer Ubisoft game.
Exactly. That's
So you're gonna have to you're gonna have to buy the
the worry.
EXP booster just to get through the game in 30 hours.
Uh,
Well, there's that one. All right, my next one. Let's go with Final Fantasy 13, the first E3 trailer from 2006.
Okay.
okay.
There's a bunch of reasons for this one. One, the music is amazing. It's the same music that they ended up keeping in the actual game itself. Also, the combat system looked amazing, and it almost looked like what it was eventually going to turn out to be. But I really wish the combat system ended up being like this, of how cinematic it was when you were picking the options for the player and how they were running around the map, and like the enemies were interacting around you in that space at the same time. I really thought that it was really sweet looking, and it was really something just never seen before. And I think the aesthetic looked amazing. Character of Lightning, like you can't go wrong with Lightning. Like I know that she as a character is not a lot there. However, the look is amazing. The look of the character is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's only
A
disappointing
retroactive
that.
observation of. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say a retroactive observation of 13 that people don't give it enough credit for is that it actually has very few belts.
Very few belts.
Yeah, the character design. The character designs like
Oh my God.
aren't
Belt
dripping in,
clasps. And stuff.
dripping in 19 different belts and clasps like 15 and everything
That's
else
funny.
since.
Oh my God.
Like
Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean-
retroactive observation, but I'm like, oh, that's a couple of points in its favor.
Like
They didn't overuse belts.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
think also just aesthetically as a color look, it was very unique.
I've thought about going back to 13. Like it goes on sale every once in a while.
I think
on
about it
Steam,
all
and
the
I'm just like,
time. I thought the
I
combat
might-
system was pretty good, and like I never finished the game, but I always enjoyed it.
it just takes so fucking long before you actually hit an open area.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
like, I don't know, it's like 15 or 20 hours before you're like actually able to move around in the world.
it
Other
takes a
than
while
just heading
for
down corridors.
well, it also takes a while for the combat system to really kick in and for it to become truly enjoyable, where you do the paradigm shifting constantly on the
Right,
fly.
right.
It takes a while, and you have to get through a lot of stuff. But it's, yeah, I know it's like slightly to me. It's like, is it worth it? It might be. It might be. And also, this was at its heyday when it was exclusive at the time for still PlayStation only.
It might be like, if you have played it, it might be a game that's better remembered.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. I
maybe.
remember
It might be
I
one
bought
of
it.
those
I bought it in the bargain bin for $8, and I was like, I can't finish this. But doesn't stop me from being like, maybe I'll try it again. You know.
Well, speaking of trying again, what are you picking, Burkoff? What's your next one?
All right. Well, so this gets back to a little bit of what we talked about at the beginning of the show about how trailers are more or less a new thing, at least for the public at large. Like, I'm sure that trailers were absolutely a thing if you were in the industry, prior to 2002 or whatever. But I don't remember seeing them. So all I remember are the TV spots. So I've got a couple of TV spots. First one is Colony Wars Vengeance. And I just remember seeing this and be like, wow, that's so cool. Like there was a PlayStation only space combat simulation game. So
it's funny that you bring up a TV spot for PlayStation, because I remember the first time I saw a TV spot for a PlayStation game, because I did not know of the existence of the PlayStation console. I was
Okay.
wondering if this was a channel on cable that you could click to,
Oh, PlayStation, I get it.
like the PlayStation. Like I was like,
That's funny.
what? I'm like, is this a super like awesome thing you can get if you have cable? You can punch in the PlayStation and play games. That'd be amazing. Like that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Funny.
until several blockbusters later that I'm like, oh, a PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
All right, Mitch, what's your next one?
my next one, Mike talked about it already, but we're going to show it now, which is Assassin's Creed, the first official trailer for Assassin's Creed, back in 2008.
Yeah.
I picked this one. I mean, Mike explained a lot of it, but for me, like, the biggest thing that stood out was how unique the game was in comparison of like seeing something. It was gorgeous, and we're seeing it was like the first time I really thought I felt like I saw a true jump in fidelity, look,
Yeah.
aesthetic, and it just was like, it's so badass. It's just this hooded guy, got some knives, got some daggers, goes up and just assassinates a dude, and it just makes you
Like,
feel like.
and he's missing a finger.
I never know.
missing a
I never.
finger,
I
too.
didn't never notice that until I played the game, because in the trailer.
Okay, I was gonna say like,
Do
I
they
was like
show
in
the
the game
finger in
they
the
make
trailer?
a big deal about what?
I was gonna say, do they show his missing finger in the trailer? I don't think they do.
Yeah, if you look at the E3 2006, the first trailer where it's like the view, it's like the bird, the bell, gong.
Oh, okay, I do see the
gong,
video.
like,
Yeah, no. What I meant more is like if you looked for it, you'd find it. But I didn't think they like showed a shot where it was like specifically his hand and seeing the finger missing.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just
no,
it's
but
just there
there-
if you see
but there
it.
was enough. Yeah, there was enough fidelity, like when he assassinated the guy and
Mhm.
pulled the blade out, and if like, and as like I did watch this trailer about 15 times, you're like, wait, he's missing a finger. Like this was one of those trailers I watched like repeatedly because I was like, it was so cool,
Mhm.
and he
Right.
was like, he's missing a finger. Why is he missing a finger? And then I like how in 2, yeah, it's 2. Like he's like, all right, chop it off. He's like, ah. What are you talking about? We don't do that anymore. You can keep your finger. Like, there was no reason to be missing the finger in the first place anyway, but
Yeah, yeah, I felt like that was
Great trailer.
amazing. It was a great trailer. Shoot, I was gonna say one more thing about it. I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Shoot, it was
sorry.
Oh no, you don't have to. Don't apologize. You're fine. Oh jeez. I'll maybe think of it later.
Okay.
Oh no, I remember. This is how I found out about GameTrailers.com.
Oh, it was through the Assassin's
Nice.
Creed trailer?
Literally, I watched this trailer and it took me to. I was looking for it and I found it on
Yep.
GameTrailers.com, and that is ever since there. I was always stuck at GameTrailers.com since then.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Nope. Absolutely. That was where, yeah, because I mean that was the only place to watch them because YouTube wasn't like trailers on YouTube were. Well,
We're not
Yeah,
a big
I believe
enough
at
thing.
this point, like YouTube wasn't even a thing. There was Google videos, like
Yeah.
Oh, YouTube.
YouTube was a
YouTube
thing.
was a thing. It just wasn't big
It
enough.
was. Yeah, I feel like it
But
was
I mean,
mainly
at this
people
time-
replying to each other.
But I'm saying at this point, I think YouTube might still have been a separate entity, and Google still had Google Video.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, very
it-
much
it-
so. Yeah, they did exist separately
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Google hadn't bought them yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Burkoff, what's your next one?
Also a Final Fantasy trailer, but not really a trailer, a TV spot for Final Fantasy VIII. I remember seeing this on TV quite a bit, and how much I enjoyed 7. And 8 came out, I think, the next year or 2 years after. It was like really short development cycle because they started 8 at the same time they started 7, if I remember correctly. And so 7 was released, then 8 was released like right after. And yeah, the hype was still really strong with 7, and I was excited to see 8 as well. But 8's still one of my favorite in the series.
It makes sense because I wondered why, like, after the next numerical game, there had been so many like 7 follow-up stuff, like Dirge of Cerberus and other things like that.
Yeah,
And I was like, but they've already moved on to 8. Why are they doing more 7 stuff? Because I didn't know how popular it'd become with nerds and how much it had influenced the the video game industry and stuff like this. And
right.
I always maintain, in a vacuum, 7 is a wonderful game. It's a great game, but I will never forgive it for what it did to the rest of the industry.
I don't follow.
Well, because it was so cool and it was so popular, is that influenced hairstyles, like styles of games and others, are
Right.
like anime Final Fantasy stuff became the thing, and other
Yeah.
JRPGs took a lot of notes from it, and so like, and so I it the stamp of Final Fantasy VII, like Cloud, his gigantic sword, other stuff like that became hallmarks and homaged and stuff like that in so many different games down the
Yeah,
years
like
because of it.
Legend of the Dragoon, I think is pretty famous for that. You know, it's supposed to be
Well, and
Sony's.
and a lot of people,
Go ahead.
oh, and in the same way, a lot of people emulated the shaky cam style filming of the Bourne movies, but with way less skill. Other people tried to emulate Final Fantasy VII in its style and tone and other stuff like that with way less skill. And
Yeah.
so you got, and so other things trying to pay honor to Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that ended up creating memes and parodies and reasons why people thought you were such a dork for enjoying stuff like that.
Yeah, that too.
That is what I meant. That is what I meant.
Well, while we stay on the Final Fantasy trend, I have one more Final Fantasy game. Can you guess, Berghoff, what it is? Or Mike, can you guess what Final Fantasy trailer I have hidden behind my little belt here?
It's
You like
it's
a
either
belt?
going to be the remake reveal
Nope.
trailer, or
I think it's 16.
one of the 16 trailers.
It is not either of those.
Oh, really? Okay,
Oh.
so
It is Final
Oh.
Fantasy
Oh.
Versus 13's first trailer.
all right, okay.
Because
There
that
you
thing
go.
was the baddest motherfucker in the house, man. It's a
Yep.
Yeah.
cool guy in the car sitting on a throne with a cool trench coat and walks out with a bunch of spinning swords as guys try to shoot him. How are you, and with opera music playing in the background with orchestral, like how are you not
Yep.
entertained? And then he like teleports. His look is sweet. Everything about this was
Yep.
amazing. I'm so
Honestly-
disappointed that this was never the game we got.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say if they had continued down the path of just making games that were more formulaic to the Final Fantasy that had come before it, yeah, this would have been a way different game for sure.
Also, I really loved the love what they were playing with. The other thing is like his weapon looked modular, as if like some of the swords could connect together, and I really love that.
Yeah,
Kind of like the it's not the Buster Sword, but the sword that Cloud uses in Advent Children.
Yeah.
Like modular from his motorcycle.
Yep.
yeah.
But yeah, no, this trailer just, God, I keep watching it. I was like, what could have been? Because
Yeah, seriously.
you could make a badass game out of this.
Now,
And like I can imagine the
now, was it
mechanics used
supposed-
and all that jazz. Like I can imagine it all.
was Versus 13, was it supposed to be in any way related to the 13 universe?
Yes, it was part of
The
the
Fabula
Nostalgia.
Tabula Novus Crystallis or whatever. Yeah,
Nova Crystallis, yeah.
yeah.
But it ended up being part of the Versus universe instead.
No,
No,
first,
I think
was
technically.
that's why it was
Yeah, I think
called
technically
Versus.
15. I think 15 is still technically in the Fabula Nova Crystallis lore.
Not really. I mean,
I'll have to look it up.
It's lightly related, but like it's not considered
Mm.
part of it.
All right.
It has a
Gotcha.
crystal, but like that's just because the main
Right.
story was going to be about a crystal.
Dude, almost every Final Fantasy has a crystal. Whether it's important or not, there are crystals.
Yeah.
Boy, there are crystals.
All right, Burkoff, what's your next one?
The BioShock Infinite premiere trailer. This is the full
Yes.
CG, the very first time that we were seeing this.
It-
I thought it was
This
really
one makes
interesting.
me sad.
Yeah, because it's
This one makes me
not. Well,
sad.
it's another one that's not anything like the final game that we got.
Not the game we got.
No, it's not. Which I like the game we got. I think it's a great game. I bought it for
Until you
multiple
think about it.
platforms. All right, so plot wise, it's not the strongest, but
No,
Um,
I liked it too. I really enjoyed my time playing Infinite. But it didn't. The plot didn't like stick with you as much as like the plot of the original BioShock.
right, yeah, yeah, I agree.
Never played two.
and
Never played two.
I had never
yeah,
played
it's arguable
Infinite.
that. Wait, you've never played Infinite?
I have not. I played.
Ooh.
I played.
You played.
I
have you
played
the
one.
first two?
I played one. I have not played
Okay.
two. I didn't really have
Broke off,
interest
keep
in
that in the
two,
back pocket for a pet.
but I know what the story in two is, and I also know the ending of three already.
Right. Okay.
So like I've already been spoiled.
I would
on
say,
that.
I'd say it's still worth playing, even if you know the ending.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is the
Well,
Infinite DLC worth playing?
I've never played the Infinite DLC. I have it, but I've never played.
Because
One of
that
those
stuff's
that I'll
back
have
in
to load
Rapture.
up. Some of it is,
'Cause,
yeah.
that
I
DLC's
don't think all of it is though.
okay.
Yeah,
But
like the Burial at Sea episodes. Yeah,
But I'll admit, yeah, this
Yeah.
trailer does look amazing, and it's kind of crazy to see that we never got this as the game.
well, it's interesting too because Elizabeth, her whole aesthetic,
It's
like
slightly
the way
different.
they did
It's
her
different.
yeah, the way they did her hair and her face and everything. Like this is a totally
Yep.
different character from the character that she became.
That's true. I just noticed that now. I was like, I don't think that really looks like her from the original game.
And
No.
you even notice the art style. Like I don't even have to look
The
at
art
it. I'm
style's
just
slightly
remembering because I'm
different,
on my phone. The one we got ended up being, in a way, it's slightly more TF2y. If you get my meaning, like the proportions
Yeah.
are
She looked more
animatedly off.
she looks more like a Pixar person, Pixar character.
Yep.
In this
right.
trailer, she looks like she almost reminds me of the woman, the assistant chef in Ratatouille.
I can see
Yeah, I
that.
can see
I can
that.
see that.
Well, funny you bring that one up, Burkoff.
What, Ratatouille?
Because I have BioShock the first trailer as one of my favorite
Right,
trailers of all time. Because let's be honest, this trailer came out of nowhere, and you're like, "What kind of motherfucking badass thing is this?" Now, do I think it was?
In contrast to Infinite, you do all of the stuff that happens in this trailer.
For the most part,
That's that's
yeah.
that's true. Yeah, it's
I-
much closer to the final product for sure.
I will say though, it's kind of surprising for how much the Big Daddy kind of f's you up really hard in this one. That he doesn't have a moment where he kind of just roughhouses you in the actual original game. I kind of was looking for that scene to happen.
Unless you, there's no scripted scene where you get messed up by one. You can get messed up by one just during gameplay if you're not
Yeah.
careful. But there's no scripted like you will fear these creatures scene.
Yeah, I kind of was.
Right.
I was kind of waiting for that in the original game to match the fear I felt in this, because to be honest, I didn't fear them as much as I did in this one. Because I think also this one doesn't match this. I will say this one doesn't match the tone as much of what the game actually was. I think the game was a little bit lighter toned than this one. And
Yeah,
I think
is
this one
definitely a little darker.
this one comes off in the trailer as much more of a horror game. And I don't think BioShock really came off as much as a horror game to me.
Um,
I mean,
I
it
think
definitely has
I think
those
some
elements.
areas.
It has elements,
I think
but
some areas.
not as scary as what this was.
Yeah, no, this was like all horror, almost like you could imagine this game almost like an RE2.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas that's definitely not what you got in the first BioShock. And it wasn't, it was a great game. It was still a great game, but this one you could have believed like, oh, the reason I'm swinging with this wrench is because I have 2 shots in my shotgun, and I don't know if I'm going to need them later.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah.
The whole reason I'm willing to shove B serum in my arm is because I don't have bullets. Like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I think it's either die or stab myself with the syringe.
I feel like ammo is a thing in these games, though. I feel like there are times where I
It
have
is
to think about.
correct. Like you did have to. You couldn't just blast away. You'd be like, would
No,
like
you
think,
have to weigh
oh,
it
am I
out.
shooting more armored things? Let me switch over to armor piercing rounds. Let me
Right,
switch over to incendiary rounds. Let me
right,
do
right.
stuff like that. So
I think the other thing that they nailed with this one that they didn't nail in the Infinite trailer is you got the whole horror vibe with the Big Daddy, but then you get the subtle moment with the little sister and the Big Daddy that I feel like you just don't get in the other one. You don't. You get this big bad
Well-
well, you get the big bad, but I think the problem is the big bad only takes away this mysterious woman, but after that you get no context of what this big bad is. And I think that is what makes the BioShock games slightly special, is this over elusive mecha beast that you have to deal with.
Right, right. Yeah, and yeah, in Infinite it was the giant bird.
Yep.
yeah, the Mockingbird or the Mockingjay never felt anything but an antagonist. Where in BioShock, like for a brief moment, you could like think about like once you knew or whatever what they were, you're like, all right, I'm just gonna leave them alone. Like you could that was a perfectly viable like moral choice you could do, like of like, yeah, I'm just gonna not mess with the big daddies and the little sisters or whatever.
And you can sympathize with
Yeah.
that. If that's the best
Yeah.
part, is there's a sympathy to it of being like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna mess up the big daddy, but like, how do I treat the little sister once that comes into play? Do I suck
Yeah.
her for everything she's worth, or do I set
Yeah,
her
as
soul
far as-
free? And it's just like you feel
Yeah.
the sympathy between the two characters and why it's being so protective, because these women, these little girls, are so special, and they have special abilities that
Yeah.
are super. And I think that relationship was shown through the gameplay and also through just the game itself, that I feel like it was kind of unmatched in other titles that I've seen before.
Yeah, it was from a mechanic standpoint, it was binarily reductive to like, oh, are you going to be the worst person
Yeah.
or the best person?
Right.
But that's not. But it still was good. Like it still existed. Like I'm like like it was done well enough that even though I knew I was hampering myself, I was like, no, I wanna not like absorb their soul. I wanna like free them or whatever like that. And like
Yeah.
I wanted to go for that. Whatever the reward might be. Like it probably is just like a satisfaction, pride of a job well done. Who knows? But
Oh no, they gave you a
like-
basket of goodies. I love that. I love that.
oh no. What I mean is that I
you
didn't
don't
know.
know. You don't
Like,
know.
I didn't-
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
totally. Burkoff, what's your next one?
Well, it depends. All right, so did you load up the last?
Yeah. I
trailer
got
for
I got
this
your
game?
adjustment. Yes,
All right, okay. So this is
These are all playing without sound, correct?
correct.
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I don't remember which trailer this was, but I feel like it was after the announcement, probably after they had, or right before they had shown gameplay, because this trailer incorporates a lot of it. But you've got Patrick Stewart's voice narrating. Um, and yeah, it was the next Elder Scrolls game. Like I took a brief period where a couple years off where I just didn't do any gaming or didn't pay attention to any gaming news or anything. And then shortly after this game came out was like when I got right back into it. Um, and so yeah, I think this trailer does a really good job of just kind of showing, okay, you've got this world in ruin, and these are the crypts that you get to explore, and um, just what the world is and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna dogpile on that real quick and add the Skyrim reveal trailer.
Okay.
If for no other reason, all of the Fusro Da vines that we got in the
Right.
years afterward of like ducks being blown along the highway, like like someone being shot with an air cannon, opening a closet, other stuff like all. It was a good trailer. I know it hit even better for people who are huge Elder Scrolls fans,
Yeah.
because it had been so long. What had been 4 or 5 years since Oblivion at that point.
2006 to 2011, yeah. So it would have been,
Yeah.
5 years.
And that was just for the teaser. Like, it didn't come out for another 1 or 2 years after that, right?
No, 11, 11, 11.
Oh, that's right. Then the trailer must have come out in 2009 or
It was
10.
Okay, yeah. Probably 10. It was probably the year before.
Well, I'm gonna move on to my next one because I have nothing to say about that trailer because I think it's just average, but I think it's just because you love Bethesda games, and that's okay. You
Yep.
can love Bethesda
Yep.
games. I'm
I've never finished a Bethesda game.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Never.
You don't have to. Don't worry about it. You're not missing
you don't have
anything.
to.
You're not missing anything special. My next one is going to be the Resident Evil 7 Biohazard reveal trailer. Now,
Okay.
for context, why did I pick this one? I picked this one because I think context of the time frame was really important for this. Resident Evil had been in a down spiral. No one has really heard about the next title coming from them. And when they played this trailer, I was watching it. I was watching it at the couch, watching E3, PlayStation's conference, watching the trailer for it. This isn't the exact trailer, actually, now seeing this. The reveal trailer is actually a different trailer than the actual reveal that they did on stage. However, still a good trailer. But as they were doing the gameplay, when they said it was like before kitchen, and they were doing I was like, what the hell is before kitchen? But anyway, they were doing the gameplay for it. And I was watching it, and I was just like, there's some jump scares in it that made me nervous. And I kind of said to myself, I actually said it out loud to my roommate next to me. I said, I don't know if I can play this game. Like, I don't think I'm going to buy this game. It's a little too scary for me. And then once it got to all the things, and then it hit the 7. And I was like, 7? What's 7? Like, what in the series is 7? And then it hit Resident Evil. I literally stood up from the couch and said, that's Resident Evil? That's Resident Evil? Ah, shit, I gotta buy this game now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I said I didn't want to buy it, not because it was a bad game, but because it was so scary, because it was so good. I was probably going to be too nervous to buy this game. Now, in hindsight, now knowing that it's Resident Evil, I gotta fucking buy the game because it's Resident Evil. But just seeing them go back to the horror roots and see them take a new direction we never seen them take before. It was first person, never done that in the series since they done their first person railgun shooters, and it's just very unique to them that I think it just stood out more than anything. And it's one of those moments you just didn't expect. No one knew this was coming. No one knew this was Resident Evil, and you would not tell it was Resident Evil by just the trailer by itself. So it's just fantastic across the board of like ultimate surprise based off the circumstance.
Totally new game.
Yep. I would agree with you. Yeah, like it not being spoiled and not being leaked, and it being such a weird, like, different location in the first person perspective. Like,
no one expected it to be Resident Evil, and there it was, and we're like, and so that instantly changed people's like, because I'm sure there were plenty of people who were like interested in it before they realized or before they were told what it was, and then everyone super excited for, oh my gosh, like you're going this hard on the horror aspect, and like, and you're gonna make this first, oh my god, like, yeah, no, that was a fantastic moment in time of that reveal for that one. I would agree with you.
They definitely got me to download the demo.
Oh yeah, and then there's play the demo tonight, and you're just like, what? Play the demo?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I had a friend come over and I turned off all the lights and like, all right, we're gonna play this in the dark. Like,
Nice.
Might as well do it right.
Oh, something I forgot
Yeah,
to
I've
say.
never actually.
Oh, sorry.
no.
Something I forgot to say about The Force Unleashed. I played the shit out of that demo. That was also one thing. Like after that, and it had a demo come out. That first level, played the shit out of it. Just like tried all the different force powers you could use, and tried all the different mechanics, and playing with the physics, and just seeing next gen for the first time because it was one of the first next gen games. That also why that trailer is just in my mind crazy. But go ahead, Mike.
The I never actually played Resident Evil 7. I actually own it, but
You don't
No, but
play
I
a lot of
purchased it,
games.
and-
You purchase a lot of games, Mike, but you don't play a lot of games.
no, I do actually play a lot of games. Like I'm 26 hours into Liza P right now. It's like I'm actually really enjoying it. It's been great, and I've actually been really happy with how well my my computer streams. Like my new desktop that I put together streams, because I'm used to in my mind. I'm like, Mikey, you can't stream well. Like it's going to be subpar. But I'm like, but I can load up. I can do 720. I can probably do 1080, but I can play at 1440 and stream. I can play at 1440 at 120 frames and stream 720p at 60, and it plays flawlessly. So I'm like, I might try bumping it up. I didn't play Resident Evil 7 because I had an Oculus Rift, and I was waiting for them to release the VR,
Yeah,
because they're like, all right,
Because it came
for PlayStation
PS3
VR. And I was like, okay, like once it hits PC, like, or after like 6 months or something, they'll like, okay, now VR for PC. So I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and they never released officially VR support for PC. And I'm like, but I have the better VR. Why? Why not? I want to play. Like, I'm like, there's no point in me playing this unless I can play it the way that makes me want to crap my pants. Like, and so by the time I realized that it was never going to happen officially, I was on playing something else. Like, but I played entirely through 8. I played 4 a bunch. Like, no. So I want to play 7. I actually still don't. I know like the first half of the game up until like the Saw house, but I don't know what happens after that.
Gotcha.
So I actually don't know the transition between what happens there and 8. Like, so.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I want to play it. Like, if they maybe whenever they announce 9, and I wonder what they're gonna do for 9. Like, because I know, like, they're like, no, Ethan's done or whatever. But I wonder if it's still gonna be like kind of the same vibe or feel, or if they're gonna do something else. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm interested.
Resident Evil is the one franchise that has changed, has, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say rechange, but that's not the right term. Reinvented itself more times.
Yeah.
It has reinvented itself so many times, and somehow it's still around. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely bonkers crazy. But you know what? Also, Resident Evil reminds me of a good Marvel movie. It's got just the amount of cheese with the corny characters, but they last forever. And you are compelled to follow through their storylines, and they do converge at times together, and sometimes they converge separately.
Yeah.
I think it's the perfect Marvel movie that wasn't a Marvel movie before Marvel was a movie. Burkoff, we got 3 left. All right, let's do this. What's your last 3?
You want me to name all three of them?
No. We'll go one at a time.
All right,
We're
okay,
not
all right.
hooligans. Come on now.
My next one is Gran Turismo 4. I don't know when this trailer came out, or if it's the only trailer that exists for it, or if there's more. But I do remember, seeing this on the internet or seeing similar trailers on the internet for this game and just being blown away by.
I'm sorry. It's called
Um,
Gran Turismo for the real driving simulator.
Yeah, so 3 spec came out, and I was like, wow, this looks amazing. And then I remember seeing 4 and just how much they were able to refine the quality of the cars and the lighting, and it was the first time I ever felt like, oh shit, we might actually hit photorealism at some point. I was seeing this trailer, I was like, okay.
Not to interrupt you, but Sleetsy, is that how you pronounce it? Sleetsy in the chat has said Gran Turismo 4 is my favorite GT game ever made.
I'd say it's definitely good. I put probably 150 hours into it, doing all the licensing and all that kind of stuff. Like, probably played more 4 than any other entry in the series.
I think
I
had a jam pack for GT4 and played a couple racetracks. And just played the crap out of the demo.
Okay.
I think it was like a level in the city or something like that.
So it was like one track, and then they gave you a bunch of different cars.
Yep, a couple cars, one track. Bob's your uncle. Have a good time.
Your Uncle Fanny's your aunt. And there you are.
Just don't crash the darn car. All right. Well, we'll move on. I've never actually seen this trailer, so I have nothing to say about this.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I still think it looks good, even though it's potato quality.
I was gonna say it does look pretty for a potato PS1 game. It does look pretty.
PS2.
Oh, this is PS2?
This is
never mind.
PS2, yeah.
Never mind. I played an older Gran Turismo because it was a jam pack for the PlayStation 1. So, different Gran Turismo.
It was probably 2, and you probably had like a Skyline or something that you could choose.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, what's your next one?
I got another Star Wars game for you.
Another Star Wars game.
Can you guess what it is?
Old Republic?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the Old Republic.
It is the Old Republic.
Yeah, so this trailer, if it's the one I'm thinking of, is this the reveal trailer?
This is the Attack on the Jedi Temple.
Is this the one
Yeah.
with that like a kind of like gray-headed, like cyborgy type guy or Sith guy or whatever?
Basically a Darth Vader clone, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was like a Blizzard game at first when I first saw it. I was like, oh shit, are they doing Star Wars or something?
I mean, I just this was when I realized that trailers lie to you. This was one of like the first real times that a trailer I felt really lied to me, because when I learned that this game was nothing like this, I was so disappointed.
I was disappointed that it wasn't going to be single player. That it was going to be massively multiplayer. I was disappointed by that for sure.
That's what I learned, and then it was like at the same time in learning that, and then Googling at the time when I was a kid of figuring out, what's a MMORPG, because I never played one, and then finding out like it looks that bad, no offense, at the time compared to like what I'm playing on my PS3, and going like, oh, it looks like that, and then look at this trailer. Why does this trailer look like 10 times better what this game actually looks like? So I was already
was he literally a Darth Vader clone or just aesthetically? Because
no,
isn't
aesthetic.
it the Old Republic?
Aesthetic.
I think it's
Should be
just aesthetic.
It's
I think it's
aesthetic.
just aesthetically.
It's pure
yeah.
aesthetic.
That's what was racking in my brain, and I'm like, wait a second, Darth Vader.
I was
hasn't
making a
been
joke.
born
I was
yet.
making
How
a
could it be a
joke.
clone?
No, it was a pure joke. But
Yeah.
I do love the trailer so much because I feel like I don't even feel like it. It's just I just love the trailer so much because of the fact it gave me something that I don't think Star Wars ever gave me before, which was a bunch of Sith and a bunch of Jedi going at it. Ever in the movies, ever in the shows.
So
and it was truly something
From
I would love to see in real action, and I was disappointed that all I got is this, but it's amazing.
so just from like a hype standpoint, the idea of hey, we have an MMORPG, and this is what it's going to be. You're going to choose one faction or the other, and the idea behind having large scale battles where you're one of 100 or whatever Jedi. So like I get the idea behind the trailer of trying to hype people up of like this is it is massively multiplayer, and this is what you're gonna get to do. You're gonna get to have these giant large scale battles.
Yeah, I if that's what they were going for, I think they nailed it. I just was like so sad to see that this was not really what the game was, and I'm so
Yeah.
I almost more want a Mike's Q situation. I want a movie of this, not a game.
Yeah.
Which I've seen
I mean-
so many of these trailers, and there was one I just saw more recently, which was an example of a little girl who was training, all of a sudden was taken by a Sith Lord, and then find out her mom is a Jedi. She tries to claim her daughter back, isn't able to do so, and then finds out the daughter got turned into a Sith and was fighting her, and didn't realize the mother didn't realize it was her child that was the Sith that she was fighting until
Okay.
a little bit later. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God, that's like phenomenal. That's amazing storytelling within a short 4-minute trailer. Why can't someone make a movie of this?
Yeah.
The closest we got to that was what, in episode 2 or 3
What do you mean?
with like, well, I mean a large scale like lightsaber
Yeah.
battle with
Oh yeah,
Into-
that's true.
dozens of participants.
Yeah, we got that in
Yeah.
2 with the Clone Wars at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Burkoff, what's your next one?
It is the Bouncer from 2000. So this was a Square launch title for the PS2, if I'm not mistaken. If it wasn't launch, it was like really close to when the PS2 released. The trailer doesn't really tell you a whole lot of what this game's going to be. I was just excited that it was another Square game and they were getting in on the PS2 like really early. So I expected another RPG. It's not an RPG. It's a beat 'em up, and
Yeah.
it's not that good of a game.
Looks like 3D Streets of Rage.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, no, I was excited at the time, and I just thought it was really cool that Square was releasing something so close to when the PS2 was coming out, and it was one of those games like, oh, this is really going to show off the difference between the old PlayStation and the new one,
It's fair. Yeah,
because it was Square and that was what they were known for.
it's fair. It looks bouncy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Do you want the surprise pick first, or do you want the non-surprise pick first?
Let's do the non-surprise.
I'll give you a hint, gentlemen. This one is a fan of the franchise, is one co-host on this show. If he was here, he would be hosting. Can you guess what my game is?
Is this the FIFA 2003 trailer?
No.
No. What would McWomble pick? I feel like we all gave him shit for that mobile game, that mobile Star Wars game. I feel like he would pick that.
Oh, is this a
trailer just
Plants
to-
vs Zombies trailer?
This is Mass Effect 3's reveal trailer.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
With London
okay.
being attacked by the Reapers.
Yeah. All right, so I almost picked this one.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm gonna maybe put this in there. But then I tried to find one for the original Mass Effect. And I couldn't find any good ones for that one either.
Nah, there's only like 2 good trailers from Mass Effect. It's either this one or Mass Effect 2. But I really think
Right.
this
Yeah,
one. I think this one
there's
really.
that Heart of Courage Mass Effect 2 trailer is a real no, it's actually a good trailer. It's one of the better uses of that song.
Yeah, I just think this one nails it though, because like we had no knowledge of what 3 was going to be about, and to see
Yeah.
like a broken down London and shooting down like enemies and not understanding what is going on in the world, and then finally seeing, um, oh, okay, Sleazy is a friend of Keith's, just so we know. That's
Okay.
we're just like, context helps. Okay, thank you. We're like, who are you? We've never heard of you, but welcome to the show. But yeah, it's just like for me, this one nails it in regards to like the tone of what they were going for, which is Earth is doomed, and you're captain and you're shepherd, and you gotta save the world, the galaxy. But like, I think we didn't expect. At least I didn't personally expect the Reapers to be attacking Earth as the setup for this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, even 2 being like a bit of a detour from sort of what the first one was setting up. It
The
was like,
Reaper
well, okay,
storyline and everything.
are we ever gonna get back to that? It was nice to know that they're like, okay, yeah, we are gonna at least finish out, um, Shepard's story. 3, I think, is still my favorite entry.
Yeah, I'm stuck between 2 and 3. I do really like 3 more than other people do.
Um,
I wish more of my choices carried over, but I don't mind choosing at the end. I really don't. It's just a little
it didn't really
weird.
bother me.
It's just a lot of explanation talk at the end, which was my only disappointment, of the child just explaining everything that. But I will say, once they addressed and added the patch, I felt like it was better.
Yeah, much better.
I
for
like
sure.
the new additions they did, especially showing what happened to their other teammates while the stuff was going on. I liked it all. Like I think they did a really good job redeeming themselves in that section.
Right.
All right, Berghoff, what is your last pick?
My last pick is the High on Life debut trailer.
We don't associate ourselves with this horrible man that is speaking the voices.
As far as I know, I think he's been acquitted of the charges. Nobody's reporting on the story, so
I still
don't
am
know
not
enough
going to
about it.
associate myself with the man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm a Rick and Morty fan. My wife enjoys the show. It was kind of cool to see that same style humor and art aesthetic, show up in a game. And I like the idea of it being a first-person shooter and all that. And I enjoyed the game when it came out too.
Yeah.
Makes it easier that it was on Game Pass and I don't have to buy it. So there's that. But
No additional money was spent on Justin Roiland.
right, exactly. But I was really intrigued by just the way that they set everything up, and it looked interesting with the talking guns and all that. And I think it works.
Yep.
They kind of pulled it off.
I'm glad games like that can still exist. Like that, like, this is wacky. This is dumb. Like,
Yeah.
are you sure this is a good idea? Who cares? Let's make the game. Like, I'm glad ideas like that can still get greenlit these
Right.
days.
I thought the trailer was pretty good. I did like the premise of like the weapons talking to you. I did get some humor out of the knife going stab, stab, stab as you're stabbing. Thought that was pretty clever and like cool. I was nervous about the guns getting annoying though, especially since I'm not a big Rick and Morty fan. To me, the voices are annoying. However, I like the theme. I like the choice of what they were going for.
Sure.
Did you ever play Borderlands 2 enough to get the Bane?
Never touched Borderlands. Borderlands I had no interest ever in Borderlands for some reason.
I played Borderlands too, but the randomness of all the weapons, I don't know that I ever. There's like hundreds of them,
I don't know. Yeah. Gajillions of them. I don't know why I resonated with Like, I resonated with the original Borderlands before they went kind of cell shaded. Like, it was a more realistic looking. And I was like, ooh, this looks really cool. And then they changed the aesthetic. I'm like, I'll still give it a try. And it was still at a time of my life where I was like, is this a good game? I'm not sure. Like, but I paid for it. It's all I have right now. I'm gonna play it.
I
One
feel
of
like
those
I don't know.
situations.
I feel like that kind of fits the games you like to play though, because you're a Destiny fan too, right? So like that constant like FPS, getting new loot. Is that? Would you
Yeah,
say that's part of it?
to a point, but I no, I definitely would say that that's part. Like, there's something I find cathartic about grinding when it's by my choice.
Sure.
Like I can easily beat this game. I can easily, but no, like I'm gonna see like sometimes like I had a group of friends who like long after I was done playing Borderlands 2, they got back into it. So they're like, "Oh, let's play." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like I'll run through with you. I'll start a new character. We'll play through. We'll play like the best stuff, like the Tiny Tinas, stuff like that. It's like really good or whatever. So we'd play from like I don't know 9 to 11 or something like that. And then because I'd still be awake for a couple more hours, I would farm for legendary weapons and shields and stuff like that offline, like while waiting for them to come back like the next day. And then I'm like, all right, here you go. Here's a perfect weapon for your build. It only took me 45 minutes to get here. Like, I don't know why. Like, it was like, I think I was like, I'm tired of you guys bitching about not doing enough damage or other stuff like that. And you're going to bed and not going to go farm for this weapon where I know where it is. Fine, I'll do it. And I'll just throw it at you when we get back online.
Nice.
Those but you could do that in Borderlands versus like Destiny or whatever. Like, you can't farm for someone else. Like, you can't
No.
give someone a weapon you're done using or something like that. Anyway, but and
Alright.
what's your last humorous entry?
Yeah, the surprise
Or you
pick.
said you had a joke entry left?
Why a
Surprise
surprise
pick.
pick?
That's it.
Uh, I'll let you take a guess. I will tell you the trailer is 6 minutes long.
Oh, all right, okay.
Ooh, so it's
Um,
too short to be a Metal Gear Solid 4 trailer.
um, what era?
Hmm.
Was it PS3 360 or
Mike got
newer?
it right. It is a Metal Gear Solid
It's a
4
Metal Gear
trailer.
Solid trailer.
Oh,
All right, okay.
It is not too short. It is just right. It is the Metal Gear Solid 4 Solid trailer with Raiden
Yeah.
versus Vampire or whatever his name is. I forgot already.
It's just Vamp or
Vamp.
Vampiro or
There's
pronounced
something.
Vamp.
Vampire.
It's Vampire. That's right.
Vampire.
But Vamp
Okay.
is what he goes by. I just remember watching this at E3 and just being like, we're getting a whole freaking fight scene in this game, and just getting my mind
Like,
blown because I've never.
I was so excited. I was so excited before this game came out.
You were excited
Mhm.
before? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
I was really excited for it. I was really excited for Metal Gear Solid 4, not so much when I actually played it.
Oh, gotcha. I never played a Metal
Yeah.
Gear Solid game before. This 4 was my first. Um, which
Okay.
which is also very difficult to. It's hard to jump
story
in.
is-
It's hard to jump in.
Yeah, the story is super convoluted.
For how many? How
do you know?
I remember sitting there, and I swear, some cutscenes were an hour and a half. I just had to like I was sitting there with my controller in my hands, and I
Unskippable.
realized I was already like 20 minutes in, and I was like, I don't think this is stopping. Let me just put my controller down. But no, I
Yeah.
absolutely love
Yeah.
this trailer. I think it like embodied what this game was going to be for people. A crazy ride with interesting looking characters, some amazing action sequences that is just Hollywood style. I would love Kojima to direct a wire fu movie with these characters in it. Like, it would be super cool to see him do that.
Yeah.
It's just freaking amazing. And at the time as well, on the PS3 of all places, like, this just looked beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the best looking thing I've ever seen on a console at that time period.
Yeah. The as far as for clarity or lack thereof, um, I'm just as confused because the only Metal Gear game I've beaten is Acid.
Oh, all right, okay. That
the
was the
like
PSP
the
one,
like
right?
card the PSP card based like Metal Gear. Like
Which doesn't, all right,
that was weird.
doesn't it take place in between, um, oh, wait, no, it was Peace Walker that has something to do with 5, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
something like
it's
that.
something like that. It's really
I
because
can't remember.
both
I can't remember where
it's
Acid falls in the timeline then.
yeah. It's funny. The only Metal Gear game I've beaten is Acid, and the only Final Fantasy game I've beaten is Crisis Core.
Okay.
Both both on PSPs because I borrowed a PSP from a friend when I went on vacation. I didn't have anything else to do, so I just had a week to play through Crisis Core, and I beat that. And then I was on a road trip, and a kid on the other side of the bus wasn't using his PSP, so he let me borrow it. So I played beat Metal Gear Acid.
Nice.
That was one of like the two games he brought. So
By the way, Sleetsy says it's a for him. It's top 10 best trailer to this day,
Yeah.
easily.
I mean, it's a cool trailer if you're into the whole Metal Gear mythos. I think there's a lot here.
Lulelo.
I think though the other element is there's a lot here for people that don't even know what Metal Gear is. It's just fascinating to watch and be like, what is all this?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is kind of curious to
Was
like
it,
what the hell is going on type of thing.
it was 4 was fascinating to me, like even with having no knowledge whatsoever of the rest of the franchise. Like it was a striking there was a striking marketing campaign for 4 leading up to it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a PS3 at the time, so I didn't get to buy it and play it, but I was interested in what people were saying about it and stuff like that, and I followed the media on it because I'm like, this looks bonkers. Like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
like also like how cool his adaptive camo was pretty cool.
I did.
Yeah,
I thought that
definitely.
was pretty cool once I was playing it. I was like, oh, this is a good way to do stealth, like to add that camo suit that
Yeah.
can adjust to the environment around you. That's pretty nifty. And then it become
Right.
more nifty when
So
you
it's
got
more
the
believable of why that guy didn't see you because I'm
Yeah.
like because most of the time stealth I'm like, come on, dude,
Yeah, shadows don't
like
cover everything.
well, it's even
you
better
should have
when you
seen
get the cover mask, so then your whole body is covered. And I love that.
Does 4 have like a little percentage indicator of like how
Mhm.
hidden you are?
I
Yes.
thought it did. Yeah.
It did.
Yep.
That-
I just loved watching it
it-
go up as soon as I changed myself to the environment around me.
I was gonna say it's sort of carried over from 3 in that regard.
Yeah, just I
Just
think
3.
I think they just better improved it in this case because I think trying to
Well, 3 was frustrating trying to figure out like what was actually gonna give you the best coverage.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Can you change outfits or uniforms anytime in 3, or did you
It
have
was
to
the
pick
camo.
before the
Yeah,
mission?
you had to pick the style of camo that you wanted to use. But it was never, at least in my experience, it was never very obvious what camo you had to select or equip or
Which was the
whatever.
most effective in that
Right,
environment?
yeah.
And that gentleman,
No, but
oh, go ahead.
I would last thing just about that, like Metal Gear Solid 4 in a way seemed a believable future for tech.
Yeah, and
If
like
you
the
if you
infinite
understand what I'm
warfare
saying.
and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Totally.
Well, I'm saying compared to say another Kojima thing, like to me, Death Stranding is a less believable tech feature
yeah,
than
absolutely.
Metal Gear Solid 4 is. Like Metal Gear stuff, I'm like, okay, like if I wait a couple more decades, I'm probably gonna see something like this.
That's fair.
Which was yeah. It was an interesting feeling. I'm like, okay, it's like fantasy or sci-fi, but like still trying to be as grounded as it can be like in a probability of yeah, we could have this, or yeah, that could be a thing,
Yeah,
which I
I
appreciate.
agree. I agree.
Well, thank
For
you
sure.
for everyone listening or watching. Hopefully you're watching this one because we did have the trailers pop up for you guys on YouTube. Remember, you can watch these on YouTube. or live on twitch.tv/pixelpints. Thanks for joining and seeing our top 10. We have been having conversations. Maybe we'll have an official Pixel Pints top 10s coming out pretty soon. Maybe. We'll think about it. But let us know your top 10. For the record, once I made my list, I did go through the game trailers, best 100 trailers, but I didn't watch the entire video. I just did the number one. And what they do is they do one frame of every game from their top 100. And, and once that happened, I ended up going, that mine was there. Or, oh, I forgot about that one, but it's not good enough to make my top 10. Oh, I remember that one. Or I remember that one. It's kind of, it was interesting to go through all that history and just go, oh my God, I remember some of these, or I don't know what that is. But it was really cool. But anyway, hopefully you have your own top 10. Share them down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. And we are here on twitch.tv/pixelpints every single weekend. Follow us on Twitter at pixel_pints. Mainly follow us on Instagram because we're more there now because Twitter is a cesspool of torture and pain and suffering. And we don't want to be involved with that. So follow us on Twitter, on Instagram at pixelpintspod. And we're on all podcast services around the globe. Just look up Pixel Pints and you'll find us there. Berghoff, what do we say? Have the end of show.
On that note, we're out.
That is right.
Nice quote. Thanks for joining, Mikey. I'm glad you could jump on.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's now, oh my gosh, it's 3:20 in the morning.
I know. I'm looking at 12:18. I'm like, oh, I gotta get some sleep.